So we have a very interesting speech by Julius Malema of South Africa. Very interesting one. Julius Malema, for those of you who don't know, was at some point mentored by Winnie Mandela, who was the wife of Nelson Mandela. He was part of the ANC. The ANC is the political party in which Nelson Mandela was affiliated. They are some of the people that played a major role into freeing South Africa during apartheid. Listen to Malema.
And has always been imperative in South Africa, but blackness should not be used as a shield for opportunism or to escape one's own wrongdoing. The disparate need for black solidarity must not be taken advantage of by individuals who manipulate the black identity to avoid accounting for how they have jeopardized the cause of black liberation. There are forces in South Africa today who have discovered the cause of black unity after they previously undermined it while they were in power, and this discovery is manipulative. You as delegate must ask yourself, where was this black consciousness and black unity when the Marikana workers were killed, whose blood nourished the birth of this economic emancipation movement, while the so-called new leaders of black unity were sitting as state president and even justified the killing of mine workers in Marikana, who were all, by the way, black. Did the need for black unity not exist when the youth of this country were shot, jailed, and killed for demanding free education under the new messiah of black unity? When the EFF offered its 6% in parliament to amend the Constitution of South Africa to expropriate land without compensation, and this was rejected by the former liberation movement, where was the black unity then? Fighters, we must never allow black consciousness to be misused to con our people into forgetting, nor allow it to sanitize the legacy of failure and corruption. There are individuals who committed themselves to undermining the liberation of black people while in government and now, in an attempt to rescue their legacy of compromise and collaboration as head of state, director generals, CEOs of strategic state-owned enterprises. They reach for black consciousness as they approach their grave. When they were fresh, they didn't know black unity. Now they see the grave, they see black unity. It is our revolutionary responsibility to vehemently reject black unity born out of convenience and opportunism, to tell those who live lives of betrayal while they govern, that Steve Biko will not welcome them on the other side because they are non-white and agents of capital. Black consciousness is a political conviction that not only relies on the color of your skin, but also on your consciousness itself. You can be black, yet advance divisive politics of tribalism. You can be black, yet act as an agent of white supremacy and corruption. You may identify as black, but your character can still be defined by deception and dishonesty. You can be black and still sell out your brothers and sisters for a few pieces of silver. We, as the EFF, do not subscribe to unity based on skin color alone in our pursuit for liberation. We subscribe to a political unity defined by ideological conviction and honest politics, a unity that will bring about the defeat of our strategic enemy. Our enemy knows that it is the EFF that is the true liberation movement and not a pocket knife for individuals and self-gratification. In our history, we have never betrayed our people. As a result, we do not merely claim to be the home and inspiration of black people and black unity. We have earned this role. It is the flag and the logo of the EFF that strike fear into the hearts of the white capitalist establishment. This is because we have earned the fear of the enemy. For this, we must be proud. The EFF is not in a fight for its own survival, but because we already live in the hearts and minds of our people. We are now in a fight to defend the cause of liberation from losing legitimacy because criminals want to use ideology as a weapon of self-defense. If we allow the politics we subscribe to be delegitimized by criminals masquerading as messiahs of black unity, it will take decades of the left to regain credibility, and right-wingers and capitalists will rule us for centuries to come. Our triple task as a revolutionaries today, as we rebuild, defend, and advance the struggle for economic freedom, are to combat liberalism, revisionism, and opportunism. We must not allow opportunists to reverse history, nor ideology to die at the hands of liberalism while we live through the brutality and reactionary rule of those who preach black unity. Ideology must never be used as a tool to wipe away the practical failures of those who have led this country. We must defend Steve Biko, even in his grave, from being used by syndicates that serve individualism. Fighters, one thing we must be proud of as this National People's Assembly is that the majority of the delegate is women in this conference, which proves our commitment to allowing women to be at the center of political decision-making in the EFF. Out of 2,513 delegates, women delegates from their branches. Out of 2,513 delegates, 1,685 women are nominated as delegates from their branches, while 828 males were nominated. Fellow fighters, this organic representation of women in our conference is a sign that the narrative that the EFF does not appeal to women can no longer stand. At times, some commissars and fighters and people outside our movement attempt to impose their personal preferences and decisions on lower structures under the pretense of democratic centralism. But as Lenin teaches us, true democratic centralism requires that the decisions are made through genuinely democratic processes characterized by robust participation, open debates, persuasion, and collective agreement. Only such decisions born from the democratic process can be considered legitimate under the principle of democratic centralism. Once a decision is democratically reached, all of us as members of the organization are bound to respect and uphold it as a collective mandate. We are not here at the Third National People's Assembly because we have no other task. We are here because ideologically we are obligated to do so. Internal democracy is sacrosanct, and without it, we are doomed to follow the path of fascism. There is no single individual who possesses so much revolutionary wisdom that they can assume leadership responsibility without a democratic mandate. We must defend the principle, fighters, without any doubt that we are ideologically correct.